I wanted to go live tonight because I wanted to just talk about this debate that keeps going on every single time, and that is, I'm a diehard Eagles fan. So um, the debate is Jalen Hurts versus Dak Prescott. We're just going to talk about the NFC East right now. Just the NFC East. We got all the quarterbacks in the NFC East, right? So we have Jaden Daniels with the Commanders. We have Dak Prescott with the Cowboys, Jalen Hurts, and we don't know who the quarterback is going to be in New York, right? The Giants. They don't even count right now. They don't even matter at this moment. So what I'm going to talk about in this stream is I'm just going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts quarterback, and Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. Because everybody, I was on Instagram today, and there was somebody that had the nerve, to say that Dak Prescott was a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. What are you on? That's what I want to know. Like, what are you on? Seriously, what are you on? Because there's no way that Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. I'm just saying that straight up. So okay, so I got some stats here that I want to share. And before I go into the stats, all right. So we're gonna talk about a couple things. We're gonna talk about, and I got my notes here. We're gonna talk about stats. We're gonna talk about awards. We're gonna talk about clutchness. We're gonna talk about leadership. We're gonna talk about all that. All right. And but before we get into that, you know why a lot of people think that Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, and this is what's in their mind. This is what's in their head. But I'm gonna end that debate tonight once and for all. But this is what's in their head. What's in their head is because Dak Prescott can pass the ball and he can throw the ball. Don't get me wrong, he can throw the ball all over the field. He has CD Lamb. All right, now you got George Pickens. We're going to see what happened. Yeah, he got hurt last year. Let me tell you, a couple years ago, I think it was 2023, they were 12-5. They beat the Eagles. I mean, they were doing their thing. And the passing yards, unfortunately, the passing yards is what makes everybody say a quarterback is better than the other, right? But what makes Patrick Mahomes better than everybody else right now? Let's just end this once and for all. What makes Patrick Mahomes better than everybody? He wins. He wins. So I don't care what anybody says. Because if you look at Patrick Mahomes' stats last year, compared to some of the other quarterback stats last year, he was not at the top of his game. But guess where he went? To the Super Bowl. Yeah, he got spanked in the Super Bowl by our Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. But guess what? He wins and he has rings. That's why he's at the top. Why is Tom Brady one of the top in because he's clutch and he won. That's it. Nobody cared about how many yards he has, how many passing yards he had. He won. That's plain, point blank, simple. So all of these debates talking about Dak Prescott is this and all that, he wins. People are talking about, okay, Jalen Hurts has been carried by the defense. He's carried by Saquon Barkley, and he's carried by all of these people. We didn't have Saquon Barkley, and we still went to the Super Bowl. All right? Our defense wasn't as good as our defense was last year, and we still went to the Super Bowl. Then they're going to say, what about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? Yes, we have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but what does Joe Burrow have? Jamar Chase. Right? Doesn't he? So he has two quality, high caliber, what everybody calls the number one tandem duo in the league. But guess where they can't get to? The playoffs. So don't give me that. Because you have other defenses that are out here that are great. And you have other teams out here that have two wide receivers that Everybody put above A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But all of a sudden, because we win the Super Bowl, oh my gosh, Jalen Hurts was carried by the team. Get out of here. Get out of here. So let's go down and let's break this down a little bit. We're going to break this down a little bit. Okay? So we know Dak Prescott has obviously been in the league longer than Jalen Hurts, right? He's been in the league. So Dak, 31,471 passing yards, 213 passing TDs, 3 Pro Bowls, and 36 TDs in 2023 and led the NFL. Okay? So don't give me nothing about, oh, Dak didn't have receivers. Oh, Dak was doing stuff. Dak was passing. All right? Jalen Hurts. And and let's look at Jalen Hurts stats. 14,667 passing yards, 85 passing TDs, 38 rushing TDs, and he's a dual threat, a true dual threat. Because he can do it with his legs and he can do it with his arm. So he kills you with both. Okay? So let's not get into that. Obviously, Dak has been in the league longer. He has more passing yards. Whoop-dee-doo. What do you have to account for that? What do you have to account for it? That's what I want to know. Tell me. Put it in the chat. I want to know, what does he have to account for it? Okay? Let's talk about this. 2023, Jalen Hurts had 3,858 passing yards. He had 23 TDs, passing TDs, and he had 15 rushing TDs. Dak, in that same year, had 4,516 yards, 36 TDs, 9 interceptions. All right? Dak's been in the league longer. And guess what? It doesn't even matter. Because here's one thing where let's go to the next thing. Let's talk about awards and accolades, okay? Dak Prescott won Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2016. Okay, Jalen couldn't win it because Carson Wentz was starting at that time. Okay, this Carson Wentz was in there. All right, but Dak wins Offensive Rookie. Yay, Dak! In 2016, Offensive Rookie of the Year, man. Way to go. And then the Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2022. All right, let's talk about Jalen Hurts. Let's go on Jalen Hurts. All right, Jalen Hurts, 2-time Pro Bowler, Citizen of the Year in Philly. And you know Philadelphia is a hard place. Philadelphia fans, we blue-collar fans, man. We want people to work. We don't like lazy people over there because we work. All right? Citizen of the Year in Philly, 2025. All right? The point is, Hurts already has the biggest prize. And that's a Super Bowl. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. Dak has never been. Never. Could barely get anywhere in the playoffs. Dak has never even been to an NFC Championship game. Come on, man. Stop this. I don't want to hear anything about the defense. Dallas always has a great defense. You got Micah Parsons, you got all these guys. Y'all got everything. So I don't even want to hear it. Don't even tell me anything about it. Okay? Team success. Okay? Let's move on to that. Dak has multiple playoff appearances. He's 12-5 in 2023, like I talked about, but always getting bounced out. All right? Still hasn't gotten the Cowboys deep. Jalen Hurts, 2022, Super Bowl appearance. Lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. 2024. So look at this. Went to the Super Bowl in 2022, went back in 2024 and won it. Now let's talk about this. That's going to the Super Bowl in 2 out of the 3 years. We didn't have the defense that we had. We didn't have Saquon Barkley the first time. We lost. But he got there. How many players in the league have come into the league and left the league and have never even sniffed a Super Bowl? And he's gone 2 out of the last 3 years and won one and actually should have won the other one if it wasn't for a fluke call at the end of the game in that first Kansas City Super Bowl. But that remains to be seen. We got this one. All right? We'll just leave that alone. Let's talk about leadership and intangibles. Okay? Dak. You respected, man. I like Dak. I like that. You know, nice guy. Like him. He's a team captain. You know, he's a good guy off the field. You know, Dak. Much respect to you, Dak. Good deal, man. But Hurts, it's a silent assassin, man. He's a silent assassin. He's a total pro. He's locked in 24/7. He don't like to talk that much. All right? He don't like to talk that much. He means business. All business. He's respected in the locker room by the coaches and the fans, man. How he works. He's putting in the work. I'm not saying nobody else is putting in the work, right? Other guys are putting in the work. They're doing their thing. But Jalen Hurts' ceiling is higher. He came in here, and he's here. Why do you think Howie Roseman picked him in the second round? Because you saw the intangibles. You saw the kind of person he was going to be. All right? And here's the final verdict. Just going to talk about the final verdict, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Dak lacks consistency. Hurts has the it factor. That's what Dak is missing. He doesn't have the it factor. He just doesn't have it. When it's pressure situations, think about, I remember as an Eagle fan, we were in the Super Bowl with T.O. and McNabb. McNabb threw up all over the field. Why? Because he didn't have the it factor. He could play in the regular season. He could get us to the He could get us to the NFC Championship year after every other year, but he couldn't get us over the hump because he didn't have the it factor. Dak does not have the it factor. Watch what's going to happen this year. I'm going to predict it. It's June 3rd. It's June 3rd, 2025. Watch the season this year and see what's going to happen. See what's going to happen. Dak has two receivers. Defense, solid. Everything set up. First game of the season against the Eagles. Let's see what's going to happen with the Cowboys again this year. And after this year, I hope that silences everybody with this Dak versus Jalen Hurts. Because if I was starting a franchise, I'm going with Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts is a winner. I want to win. I don't want to get to the Super Bowl and get my heart. I don't want to get to the playoffs and get my heart broken every single year. I want to win, so I'm going with Jalen Hurts. Okay? Jalen Hurts just getting started, man. And I think eventually, Jalen Hurts right now is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Top 2 if you ask me. Top 2. The only person I can put above him right now, is Patrick Mahomes, and we just beat him. And it's only because of what? Not because of passing yards. It's because he wins. He got the rings. He got the hardware. Okay? So until Dak gets some hardware, please end this discussion. This is not a discussion. This is not a discussion. So end it. All right? I don't want to hear about it ever again. Dak had his chance. And Jalen took it. So now I know everybody's saying that Jaden Daniels is on the rise. And he's a great guy. Great quarterback, great guy. Really came out in his rookie year. But you know what defenses are doing? They're studying. So I hope he's going to make some adjustments, and I hope they're going to make some adjustments. Because the Eagles are there, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly, go Birds. This is what we do, man. I don't want you guys to ever, any Cowboys fans, or anybody else for that matter, to ever bring up this debate ever again. Because I said it right here on this stream. Dak Prescott cannot win. He's just not a winner. Nice guy. Really nice guy. But he's just not a winner. And that's it. Plain and simple. Don't give me anything about the defense. Don't give me anything about, I don't want to hear it. Because Patrick Mahomes had sucky teams and he had good teams. All these quarterbacks who won Super Bowls in the years, some of them had bad offenses, good offenses, two good defense, a good defense, good offense. I don't want to hear it. The bottom line is you got to will your team to win. No, you don't play defense, but it's how you lead. It's what you do when you on the field. It's what you do. Okay? Dak's not a winner. That's it. So, until next time, let's end this debate. And let's never talk about this again. Fly, Eagles, fly.